Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Out on the Ranch with Dr. Lee. Well, I hope you guys are having a great Labor Day weekend. I've had a good weekend too. I've labored. I think that's what you're supposed to do, right? Isn't that why they named it Labor Day? I've been locked up in a garage. I guess that sounded kind of strange, didn't it? I've been cooped up in the garage of one of my rent houses repairing sheetrock. We're between renters in there, and this particular renter left 1,000,000 holes in the sheetrock. A little bit of damage from running the car into the wall and everything. So that's what my Labor Day's been up to. I've patched up all the holes and painted all the walls and the ceiling, so now it looks great. Everywhere you see a white spot, the sheetrock was damaged. Even the ceiling. What in the heck? I had to go through there and plug up all the holes. All this right here was all caved in. And then just all kinds of crazy holes everywhere. They had whacked it pretty good in front of the car. I have no clue what they did there. And then just tons of holes. Holes everywhere. Fortunately, I didn't have to replace any panels of sheetrock, but I've got my work cut out for me. So it's ready for the next renter, and I hope they take better care of it than the previous one did. Painting's one thing I've always hated. I have done a ton of it, and I didn't like it the first time I started painting stuff, and I still don't really care for it. Did a lot of painting to work my way through college and painting apartments and things like that between semesters. And I remember a long time ago when my wife and I were just dating, and we went out to see her parents. They had a cabin up in the mountains in New Mexico, and we drove all the way across Texas and then up through New Mexico to go see him. And when we got there, and again, I was kind of intimidated. He was a medical doctor, and I come from a family that was poor as dirt, so I was kind of already intimidated by him. I went up to meet him and shook hands with him, and he held out 2 fingers like that, and he said, "Grab a hold of those 2 fingers." And I thought, is this going to be the old pull my finger joke? It was not, though. I grabbed his 2 fingers like that, and he said, "You're perfect," and he put a paintbrush in my hand. So we spent the rest of the weekend painting the decks on the old cabin up in the mountains and drinking beer while we were doing it. So I guess that was his way to see if I was worthy of dating his daughter. And I must have passed the test, because a couple of years later he said that he was cool with her becoming my wife. But anyway, happy Labor Day. Sorry to get carried away like that, because I really don't have a video for today. I've got 2 or 3 in the works, and I'm really excited to get 2 of them done especially, and I think you're really going to like those. But as far as today, I don't have anything going on. I just thought I would create this video today to answer some questions that came off of all those videos I made about the hurricane. I made a total of 5. And I guess the one that drew the most questions was, what happened to Matt and Jake? Well, for those of you who haven't seen the video, Matt and his best friend Jake loaded up my jet skis and took them to Houston down to help out with all the flooding. And they got a lot of video on that, and there's no need for me to show it on this channel. If you want to see it, you just need to go over to Matt's channel, Off the Ranch. I'll leave a link down in the description here so you can go look at that. But they came back safe and sound. The jet skis did not come back safe and sound. They were damaged pretty badly, and holes in the deck and all, and they sucked up a bunch of seaweed. Or I guess it wasn't seaweed, I guess it was Houston's grassy weeds. But Matt got that taken care of promptly, as you see here. You got the damage repaired, right? And you're challenging me to figure out where it was. Man.
Look at the jet ski.
I know it. Looks like a fiberglass Rembrandt.
So
it's this baby.
It was right there.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, who's jumping up on my back? Could it be Annie?
I found this old man in San Antonio who did this at his house in one day, when other shops, real
Unbelievable.
shops, had quoted me 3 weeks. Knocked it out in a day.
Meredith, are you sad you didn't get to go down there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But considering what could have happened and the small amount of damage they had, it was really no big deal. Matt and Jake got back safely, and they did some good while they were down there. And boy, just a sad situation. So I was real proud of him for going and helping. And while he was here, a bunch of savages attacked the jet skis as well. And the second most popular question that was on there that I need to answer is this. Yep, I am Matt's dad. I guess there's a lot of people that still haven't made that connection, but yep, that's the cold hard facts. One other thing that a lot of you guys asked about was, what does the creek look like? Because I went down and took some pre-hurricane pictures of the creek, some videos down there. And honestly, I'm going to drive by it here in just a minute to see. If I don't add any more video, then that means it's not a noticeable change. We only got about 3 inches of rain here. That storm came up to San Antonio and then just took a hard right, went back to the east and down around Houston. So we were on the clean side of it, so we didn't get a whole lot. Just got a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. Not a big deal at all. Also in that series, I drove over to College Station to help Allie. Her roof was leaking. Actually, water was coming down through the ceiling fans and dripping onto the floor. And we're talking about more than just a little drip here. The trash can out of the bathroom was not big enough. We had to go get one of the big garbage cans to put under the drip, and it was really running just like a faucet. But then again, they had actually, up until that point, they had more rain than Houston. They had about 22 inches of rain by the time I got there, and they had several inches of rain, I think like 10 or 12 more after that. But got there, patched up the roof, and to answer your question there, yes, the patch that we put on the roof did work. So got that behind us, one more problem taken care of there. Also, if you want to see the floodwaters, not from the city, but from the country, but from out into the country view, go see that one. That was hurricane video number 4 or day 4 or update number 4 or something like that. And it says something like day 4 and ... and then it says what? So that's the video. At the end of the video, it's got me working on the roof. But before that, you'll see all the flooded pasture lands over in East Texas, and pretty impressive video, I must say myself. Pretty incredible amount of water. One more funny thing that drew a lot of responses, a lot of comments, were people asking about Bud and Marty. That's my 2 dogs. Bud's the big old black lab, and Marty's the little Pomeranian. Bud will be 15 years old on the 11th day of November. So I did a special birthday video for him last year, and we'll do one again this November too for his 15th birthday. He has lost a lot of ground in the last year, bless his heart, but he still tries to keep up with everybody else. Marty, the little Pomeranian, he was a rescue, and man, he's got a good story that goes behind him too. We rescued him probably 6 or 7 years ago, and he was probably 2 or 3 at the time, so he's probably about 10 years of age. But Marty weighs about 8 or 9 pounds sopping wet, and he thinks he's 10 feet tall and bulletproof. In Marty's mind, he is in charge of ranch security. Bud is totally secondary. In Marty's mind, it's Marty's job. So that's part of the Pomeranian syndrome, I understand. And I also took a pretty impressive video of the moon, I thought, and evidently a lot of you guys did too, because you asked me what camera I was using to take that particular video. And I'm going to get a picture of it right now, a little video of it. This is the one I'm using, not my phone here. I'm taking a picture of the one that I used to shoot the moon. Okay, we got that. I'll show you that video in just a second. This is a Panasonic HCV770, and it's about a $600 camera, and it's got like a 20 power zoom on it, an optical zoom, but then it also has a digital zoom that goes up to 50x, and that's why you could see all those craters on the moon so well. Honestly, I was kind of shocked it did that well too. I'd never done that before, but you do have to have it on a tripod or that won't work. Way too shaky at 50x. Y'all have seen me take pictures of deer with it at 50x trying to hand hold it, and man, it's really difficult to do that. Many of you also ask about Uncle Floyd and how he survived the storm and all, and he did just fine. He lives about half an hour north of here, and he got about the same thing we did here, 3 or 4 inches of rain and quite a bit of wind to go with it, but he did just fine. So thank you very much for asking. I always appreciate your concern for him, because I know you guys love him just like everybody else does too. So I guess that's about it from out on the ranch today. Like I said, I didn't really have a video to do for you guys, but I did want to answer a lot of the questions you had in the comment section. And oh yeah, one thing in particular I meant to say that I forgot. It's kind of interesting here. One of the biggest problems we're having now, secondary to all the flooding and the hurricanes and such, is our ability to get gasoline. And there's also a psychological phenomenon that goes along with that, and that is, you know, we're running out of gas, let's go fill up right now. So the lines at the gas stations are horrendous. 30 to 45 minute wait, a lot of tempers that should not be there. Even I came out of our grocery store. It's a big, an HEB. I don't think they have them all over the United States, but they're common in Texas. Great big grocery store chain, and they all have big gas stations in them out in the parking lot too. And the one that we have here in this town had to have the police corridoring off different lanes because there was so much traffic there. So you go into the parking lot going in to buy groceries, and they try to you either can't pull in where you used to pull in, have to go around to the back of the building to access the parking lot that way, or they put you into a gasoline line. And it is insane. There's just cars backed up everywhere, cop cars all over the place, just trying to keep the peace because it's gotten crazy. So all the pride and good feelings that we had about everybody helping out with the flood waters and the hurricane relief and all that kind of got dinged up a little bit when you see these humans out there trying to get gasoline before the gasoline runs out. And no, it's not going to run out. The shortage is a very small percentage, and I don't know, it's just human nature. You know, when things start getting in short supply, people start freaking out. So I would implore you guys to try to be cool, try to be calm. We're not going to run out of gasoline. No need to hate anybody. We heard the story, a friend of a friend drove up to one of these little mini markets that had a gas station there, and he drove up in a great big Hummer, which uses a lot of gasoline, very inefficient vehicle. And he wasn't even buying fuel, but a lady walked up to him and spit on him. So yeah, just about the time we start, you know, feeling good about humanity, some of these champs come along like that and just totally ruin the picture. But anyway, that's not the norm. You know, that's just one of those stories that rises to the top because it's so shocking. And we have to be proud of ourselves that so many people sacrificed to go help all those in need down on the coast. And folks, that's what we're supposed to do. God put us here to take care of each other, and by golly, when the going gets tough, that's exactly what we did this time. So a lot to be proud of, a lot to be thankful for. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in on Out on the Ranch. Again, I apologize for not really having a video for you today. I've got 2 or 3 in the works that I think you're really going to like. I'm excited to do them. So you guys take care. We will see you next time. And as always, remember, I love you. We'll see you soon now. Bye-bye. So what you doing there, Al?
Neutering a dog, Dad.
All right. Who's gonna learn you?
That's a mistake.